There's something important that you need to know about this level. If Mario touches anything that hurts him, I can bring him back to life by pressing the L or R button. This level is called Resurrections. It's from the Grandmaster difficulty Super Mario World Kaizo ROM hack called Super Dream World 3. So you may be wondering, if I can just recover from death, what's the challenge of the level? That ability doesn't work if you're inside of a wall, or if you fall off the bottom of the screen. For me to make it to safe ground, I need to be spinning off of the thwomps. For me, timing these shell throws is probably the hardest thing in the level. A close second is being able to get hit by this thwomp properly. You can see I only barely make it to the ground on the right. Okay. Alright. Okay, oh, hold on. This is important. Cool. That's cool. That's really cool. Excellent level. Yeah, I guess I just had to get the thwomp figured out. This is Spiny Convoy, a level from Joker Shell OK. Something important to know about Joker Shell OK is that it has different physics from most Super Mario World ROM hacks. You're gonna get a high bounce off of everything that you spin jump off of, and P-switches have a much longer timer to be able to jump off of them. Normally it's frame perfect, a 60th of a second. The other change is that items are dropped slightly lower than Mario. That makes it easier to land on things that you drop. This spiny shell is rolling through the whole level. As long as I keep up with it, it drops up at just the right time for me to use. Alright, back to the end. Hold jump, hold jump, hold jump. That's all it was. That's all it was. Oh, Jesus Christ, what a hard level. This is Nostalgia Star, a level from Super Dream World 3. The star suffix in the level name tells you what kind of level it is. It's a reference to Ultra Star, which was a level in Kaizo Mario World all the way back in 2007. The format usually has platforms that are stuck to line-guided tracks, and portions of the tracks are going to be turned on and off by the on-off switches. There's also usually a large amount of Kaizo blocks, invisible blocks that force you to make a very specific type of jump to avoid getting blocked. I've dodged a couple of those already, and we're going to see one more towards the end. We're going to need to pick up this throw block and then spin off of it to get up top. And here's our new best friend, the platform-throwing Pipe Lakitu. He throws an unlimited number of platforms at me, and I have to use him to survive long enough for the platform up top to get to the right for me to use it. Here comes that Kaizo block. Let's go! It moves to the side to get me to hit it. This second section here is all about the numbered platforms, and there's several different types of them. The green ones just kind of move normally to the right. The yellow platforms will fall down when you board them. Blue platforms will raise straight up in the air. I'm going to call these kind of a light green. They move diagonally when you touch them. Red platforms just go to the left. And our final platform, the pink one, moves fast to the right. We have an on-off switch right here that I need to hit twice. It has a Kaizo block beneath it, so I can't go straight up to hit it. I need to come in from a pretty shallow angle from the side in order to avoid activating that block. I have this final throw block in my hand, and we've got a pretty sneaky setup here where we've got two platforms stacked on top of each other. Let's go! Hell yeah! Man, that was such a good level. In Super Mario World, whenever Yoshi eats a power-up, it's automatically collected by Mario, no matter how far apart they are. While an object is still on Yoshi's tongue before he swallows it, Mario can still interact with it. If a shell is on Yoshi's tongue while he despawns or takes damage, it leads to weird things like this. We call it eat canceling. This is Neptune, a level from planets. All of the power-ups here are mandatory, and they're also too low for Mario to collect them directly. We have to rely on Yoshi eating them. Having a cape lets you fall way slower by holding down the jump button, but I can't go too slow or I wouldn't be able to make the jump. Here, Yoshi is pulling double duty. I catch back up to him after he's grabbed the shell. I dismount him to stay in the air as the shell is traveling back, and reboard him to bounce off the shell. Just like we saw in the tutorial, Yoshi holds that P-switch for me to land on it, and then we E-cancel this shell. That shell's going to travel right through the blue Koopas and then fall through the floor until it gets to the bottom. We're going to use this cape to hit the block underneath Yoshi. If we don't hit this blue Koopa with a fireball, he'll kick the shell off the edge. We need that to make Yoshi fly. We don't see it, but there is a hidden block here, so I need to be careful about where I fly Yoshi. And then, we don't need him anymore. Hello. Good afternoon. I am much later getting started than I expected to be. That's a result of me going through and doing some video editing this morning, and also rebuilding my list of hacks, which wasn't my main goal, but I was going through and grabbing all of the ROM hacks that I needed to make sure I wouldn't have to stop and download any. And the count that I came up with was like 70 higher than what I had to begin with. So I went and made sure I'd be able to get everything. Alright, so here's how this is going to work. We are going to play every beginner difficulty hack. That is casual, intermediate, or advanced. We are starting off at the very beginning with the same place where I think people that are brand new should start, which is 2 Kaizo to learn. And after we finish this one, we're gonna spin the wheel so that we can get random hacks from that difficulty range and play them in a random order. Yes, we, all of us. Me playing beginner hacks like 1980s Mike Tyson fighting a disabled senior? Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Paige. Thank you for the heart, me. Happy Wednesday. That would be something. Imagine if I rigged the wheel to make it be that way. I actually don't think I can rig the wheel. I already played Nakama, Dom. I'll play it again. Make it always be Super Germdove World. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Alright, well, I think I've laid down the ground rules for how all this is going to work. We're going to go ahead and get started. 3, 2, 1, go. I like Nakama. Welcome to 2 Kaizo to Learn. This is a tutorial hack designed to teach you many of the mechanics unique to Kaizo S&W hacks. It is not comprehensive, but you will see these tricks in beginner hacks. Good luck on your Kaizo journey. Blue Ribbon High Life. Palettes and camera issues, those are good things to fix. Alright, let's get the whole experience. Welcome. And backgrounds. Do you maybe want to fix some setups too? Maybe get rid of a certain ASM? Do not feel like you need to complete this before you begin with Kaizo S&W hacks. Some tricks shown here are tough and rare. You can press select on the overworld at any time to save. Midways will also be saved. Press L and R in any level to reset. Absolutely not. Yoshi ever invest in walls? I mean, he's got a fireplace. Run for your life? Is this? Running. Hold X or Y to run. Running is the most basic component of Kaizo. Mario will hold his arms to his side when he is running his fastest. This is P-Speed. Get P-Speed here if you want to survive. So there's some complexity to how P-Speed works. Sometimes that gets fixed so that there is no complexity, but Mario's maximum speed alternates between a couple different values. It's usually not important. Learn to jump. Jumping is a key mechanic in any platformer. Jumping in Super Mario World has two major components. You jump higher the faster you are moving, and you jump higher the longer you hold the jump button. Give it a try. See, I'm showing you what not to do. Need P speed there. Spin jump. Mario has two jump types he can use. B gives you a normal jump. A is for spin jumps. Spin jumps give you a lower height but equal distance, and can be used to kill enemies or can be used to safely bounce off certain dangerous enemies. Now, equal distance with lower height kind of implies more speed, and that's not the case. Your speed is exactly the same. And you could totally do that with a normal jump too. Oh, so we can't be allowed to give him wall. Regrabs. To regrab, during a jump, take your finger off the jump button, A or B, and then repress or regrab the jump button. Regrabs cause you to fall slower so you can cross a longer gap with less height. As you are getting started with regrabs, an effective strategy may be to quickly double tap the jump button, A or B, holding it the second time, which will give you an auto regrab. So, to show kind of what's happening here, watch Mario. I'm gonna hold down the jump button the entire time here. You see how he kind of floats in the air and falls slowly? If I jump and then release the jump button, which I'll do now, he falls a lot faster. So Mario's gravity is higher when you're not holding down the jump button. That's what regrabbing does for you. Yeah, I like the input display for the hack. I think you can turn it off too. Alright, if you are a creator, this is an example of what not to do. You do not want to have death blocks 3 tiles above things that you bounce off of, because you can do that. You can get too good of a regrab and die. Carmen, thank you very much for the heart me. I need to purposefully make a late regrab there so I don't hit my head. And I think that players that are just starting out will see that and not recognize what's happening. Like, they'll think that they're doing a full bounce instead of a regrab, where they're actually doing a regrab, they're just doing it as early as possible, which gives you as much height as a regrab can give you, which kills you in that situation. Carmen, thank you very much for the heart me, the rose, and the love you love you so much gifts as well. A bit of scorpion pepper hot sauce on a Taco Bell chalupa? Oh no, never. You appreciated me pointing that out in the comment? Oh, that's wonderful. I love to hear that. That's one of my pet peeves. I'm doing the thing. Mini pits. Hold jump and run over the gap. If you fall in, you need to run faster. So, a 1-tile gap, Mario can safely run over them by holding the jump button. It will always work. You can also run over a 1-tile gap by holding the run button and running. Sometimes. You made that hack with genuinely 0 Kaizo knowledge, and you learned from people getting mad. Hey, I mean, that's one way to learn. If you want, I would be happy to playtest your next hack, by the way. I like doing playtesting. With ice physics, you can cruise over a bunch of gaps, get that speed, and duck. Still, make sure you hold down the jump button. Another way to maintain speed while you're ducking here is to hold forward while you're ducking. During those brief periods where you're in the air, during those brief periods where you're in the air, you will gain more speed. Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, totally willing. Avelio, thank you very much for the heart me and the go popular. Hey, Super Derek. I gave a rundown earlier on what we're doing, but I'm calling this my Kaizo Beginnerthon, where I will be playing every beginner difficulty hack. Heron, you know that I don't want you right here. I'll let you stay. Chuck Gates! You had two playtesters and you're getting a lot more this time. Reverse chuck gate. These are easier than a normal chuck gate. Hold jump and run over the gap and time your run well. So a charge and chuck, or I guess a clap and chuck. If you are, I think, 3 or more tiles above him, he will jump to try to hit you. And we're just gonna run over this gap. Chuck gate. To get through a chuck gate, get the chuck to jump and run under while he's in the air. Chuck will jump if you are about 2 tiles higher in the air than his hands are on the ground. Excuse me. Chuck will jump if you are about 2 tiles higher in the air when his hands are on the ground. Try to spin, jump, and run for this one. So watch Chuck. If his hands are on the ground and I press the jump button, he's gonna jump. That little hop that he does, if you are above the height requirement when he does that hop, he'll do a full jump. So what I like to do is to get him stuck in a cycle of jumping up by continuing to be in the air as he lands on the ground. And then once I get a rhythm, I can run underneath. Not John McDonald, thank you very much for the heart me and for the rose. I don't think you did play this, Carmen. I think I had you learn 2 Kaizo. Which was an oversight on my part. Cats are better than fish and also bees. I think you'll find that bees actually are fish. I have a disaster going on right now. Hey, Astral. Let me show these cats real quick. They have decided that they want to invade my desk.
First blood.
Double sprawled out? Yeah. The keyboard belongs right here, by the way. Right where the cats are. And they know that. They know that, don't you? Don't you know that? They're lucky they're cute. Rexes and rhinos. Rexes can be jumped on twice. After the first jump, they will speed up. And it is illegal to jump on a Rex 1 time and leave it squished. Dino Rhinos can also be jumped on twice. When you jump on a Dino Rhino, it turns into the smaller Dino Torch, which will spit fire after a certain amount of time. Hey, Mike, thank you very much for the heart me. I didn't have a message box telling me about bullets. Dino torches, like their larger friend, will try to jump over small walls. Kaizo designers love to exploit this. Oh, do they ever. Spin off of a Rex for a large bounce, which will kill the Rex. Your B button has been disabled in this room. Most enemies that you can safely do a bounce off of will not give you a high bounce if you spin off of them. That's why Rexes are special this way. This time there's no game title. Are you sure about that? Yo, awesome pie guy. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. No, it's perfectly legal to leave a dino torch behind after a dino rhino. It is the name of this game, yes. Ibby, thank you so much for the heart me and for the go popular. Thank you, Mike. Goomba, bubble jump. Not as jank as you have been led to believe. Jump near the top of the bubbles, holding the jump button as you fall. For some setups, you may need to wiggle the D-pad left and right slightly to align the jump correctly. Bubble jumps are very dependent on the setup of the bubbles. Kick a Goomba in the air, then catch it before it hits the ground. As it starts to wake up, watch the feet wiggle. Jump in the air so you are rising when it wakes up. If done right, you will get pushed into the air. So what happens here is that a Goomba will remember its falling speed when you catch it. So when it wakes up, it will resume falling at the same speed that it had before you caught it. And if you are in the air and falling correctly, unlike what I was doing, you'll be able to instantly bounce off of it. Not your favorite move? So, I think that Goomba jumps are at their best when the creator is timing it out for you and you don't need to worry about it. Examples of that would be in stuff like Akagare. They're a cool move when they work right, but they are finicky. Hey, Nick. Yeah, so Kaizo means that you know, there's a few different definitions of it, but the one that I use is you only have levels that are designed to be completed in a specific way, and you need to make use of everything that you see in the level in order to do that. There's not going to be extra power-ups or extra enemies that are just standing there as a hindrance to you. Everything is necessary. Thank you so much for the follow. Alright, slopes. Mario gets more distance on a slide when you do not press left or right on the D-pad in midair. Slide with down, jump, and C. So, to be a little bit more technical here, Mario has a speed limit, where if you are holding right or left, he cannot go faster than that speed limit. And slopes have the ability to make you go faster than that speed limit. You may learn it. To slide with an object, you must grab it as you are already sliding. You can do that by throwing it in the air and catching it, or dropping it on the slope and grabbing it on your way down. So that's like this, or like this. Yeah, the meaning of the Japanese word means absolutely nothing. That's why we don't use the definition of the Japanese word, because it doesn't mean what we need it to mean. Oh yeah, of course. We're getting through 2 Kaizo to learn, and then we're gonna spin another game afterwards. Mario will keep slide state for Mario will keep slide state even for a short time upon landing, as long as you don't press left or right. So I'm gonna hold the jump button as I slide down this slope. Once I get to the bottom of it, we're gonna get a high bounce off of that Goomba. And since I'm not moving left or right, I'll keep sliding, which will let me kill the piranha plants. I can even get a bounce off of that note block and keep my slide state. Thank you very much for the follow. I really appreciate it. Alright, so those are all the tutorial levels. Now we're going to go to the jump test. Time to put the tricks from the first section together. This test is intended to be beaten at your own pace. Do not feel like you need to master it before moving on. Good luck. So kind of putting everything together that you just learned, or, you know, a lot of stuff together that you just learned. The shell jump. The shell jump is one of the most used tricks in Kaizo. To complete, stand about 2.5 tiles away from the wall, holding a shell. Jump, and right before the peak of your jump, release the shell by letting go of Y, but continue to hold B. It is very, very important to continue to hold B. If you let go too early, the shell will go beneath you. If you let go too late, the shell will hit you. This is always true. Or if you're really, really super duper late, it'll go above you. So, it says 2.5 tiles away from the wall. This is 1 tile. This is 2.5. Jump. And at the peak of the jump, like right before he starts to fall down, we're gonna let go of run. And that's a standing shell jump. You can also do them moving, which it doesn't really change the timing of when you need to throw the shell. You're still throwing it right before you start falling. And you can have like a little bit more distance. But at this point, like, I'm so far away from the wall, by the time the shell gets back to me, I'm only getting maybe 1 more tile of height. I played a lot of the first Stalker. Hey, Baba Yaga. Maybe. Shell jump. If you let go too early, the shell will go beneath you. If you let go too late, the shell will hit you. It's a handy thing to learn so that you can identify what you're doing wrong when you shell jump. Dang it, TikTok. It's platforming. Learn how different types of platforms work. The gray platforms start to fall when you land on them. These brown platforms will fall immediately at full speed when you touch them. Except that one, which is acting like it's on a track. sometimes when the wall is that close, yes, I'm doing that so that I don't overshoot it. That setup was built so that I could do it standing on the ground directly in front of the wall. I was turning around to slow down so that I wouldn't overshoot it. If you're too close, you won't get it. So to kind of explain that, when Mario lets go of a shell or other items that he holds in his hand, there is a brief period of time where he cannot interact with that shell. It's about 16 frames, and that's the reason why you need to give yourself space. Tomorrow night is suggestions, yes. There's the brown rotating platform. I should explain how this works, actually. Every frame that you are on the brown rotating platform, it gains some speed. So if you constantly jump off of it like this, you can mostly keep it in place, depending on how frame perfect you are at jumping. If you stand on it and just let it swing all the way around, well, if you stand on it and then jump off before you get to the death plane, you can make it swing all the way around. You can actually make it go higher than its original starting point. And you can make it go all the way in a circle if you want to. Thanks, Jez. No, I feel pretty confident. Timed platforms. Timed platforms fall after a countdown. You can land on these mid-air as they fall. You can also do some P-speed shenanigans with these that we won't get into here. Yeah. We won't get into it. So, it mentioned landing on these platforms as they fall. That's extremely useful, and I think that I should note that in order to land on a platform, you must be falling. So if you let go of the jump button right as you're passing through a platform that you're jumping up through, you should be able to land on it. Are these created via Mario Maker? No. This is a Super Mario World ROM hack. Hey Christina, thank you so much for the heart me and go popular. The one thing that's always helpful to do before you collect a goal is to check what's past it to make sure you're not going to walk off the edge. In Super Mario World, most enemies can't hurt you after you've beaten the level, but if you fall off the stage and into a pit, you will have to start back at the checkpoint. Thank you for the GG. Kaizo Classics. You'll see this a lot. Go through the door to try a more advanced version of this stage. enough, use the door here to return to the easier version. So we are timing the bullets that come out so that we get as much distance as we possibly can. Well, maybe not as much distance. I'm doing casual, intermediate, and advanced. And the way I have these set up, I've got wheels that I'm gonna pick from randomly. Choose what the next hack is. So I guess what you could say is that I'm gonna be playing every beginner Kaizo hack, and I mean all of them. But the twist is 330 hacks. I also will not be updating the list anymore. No, the moons! Feel free to tell Thab that I'm biting off his... I'm not actually going to be using his intro for his videos, but I do think it's very funny. I keep turning around there. I gotta have those moons! Give me those dang moons! Yeah, I mean, you gotta introduce the player to Megalovania. You know they're gonna hear it. Thank you for the GGs. Super greedy little moon boy world. Alright. There's two. There is Oops All Fortresses and now Celery. Celery just came out. Cannon speed. Yeah, the Jordan's hack. Like a clown at a circus, Mario takes to the skies. When shooting out of a cannon, your trajectory is affected by pressing different combos of Y, B, and right. For greatest distance, use only B and neutral the D-pad. Holding Y at full speed will do nothing because Mario is traveling faster than P speed, but it can be helpful if you need to hit the ground running. Pressing right will kill your momentum very quickly. So this comes back to what I was talking about for the slopes. Mario has a speed limit. He actually has... For the purposes of what we're talking about in this, he has two speed limits. He has his regular... Let's say 3. He has his regular movement speed limit. That is without holding run. You see his walking speed? That's his speed limit. He also has his running speed limit, which is what you get when you hold down the run button. And then there is the P speed limit, when he sticks out his arms and gets P speed. Those are all 3 different limits, and if you are moving faster than the current limit, you will slow down to that limit. That's the reason why we have oscillating speed. You can't play to learn to save your life? Oh no, Ashley. John and Ashley, thank you so much for the heart. Have I played Nightmare? I don't know what Nightmare is. So, in addition to the speed limit, if you're on the ground, Mario will slow down due to momentum. So the goal there was to jump as quickly as you can after landing. The speed when you get ejected from a flippy net in a Kuso hack? That's for a different day. You might be thinking of the hack Nightmares. Nightmare is not a hack. Nightmares is. Fisher of Booze. Oh. I might have... Actually, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. My exit count. Okay. Fisher of Booze. Ride on my head, my child. Says the Fish and Boo. So there's a lot of complexity to how Fish and Boo moves. I think the most concrete example is that he moves with the camera. He's also influenced by trying to move towards you, and he also reads your D-pad. So he's going to be anticipating where you are trying to be by what you're pushing on your D-pad. You get used to how he moves. On-off blocks. These switches exist in vanilla Super Mario World, but the blocks themselves actually do not. Regardless, you'll see them everywhere because they are the most useful thing. Can you imagine a Mario Maker 2 level without on-off blocks? Orb! Hey, Hannah. Hannah, did you see the video that I posted? Where I tell you the level that you were playing is easy? Oh yeah, yeah. Those blocks are... They predate Maker 2 by a lot. I mean, it just makes sense. Platform test. Can you play Mario Maker on PC? You can emulate it. Certainly. It's not a PC game, though. I think there was a text box I forgot to read. Just telling me to make sure I take the test at my own pace. You can't find the hack to Kaizo to learn? It's there. I have a pinned video showing how to download hacks. If you need help, you can reference that video. On-off blocks are your biggest crutch? I mean, I think they're a fine crutch. Spin with object. Is it possible to download to ROM Station? Is that a ROM manager or something? To spin while holding an item, you need to catch it while you're already spinning. You can make this happen by throwing the item in the air, then spin jumping. Or other ways. What's with this cutoff? You know what I like is the gray platforms, the custom ones that don't fall too fast for you to stick to them. Well, depends on the emulator. Let's see. Lots of spins. When you spin kill an enemy, it gives you a small period of float in the air. Kaizo often uses this to give you a moment to move left or right as you descend. You used both? I didn't realize that. But no, I agree with you. That one or the other is better. It's one of the things that I really don't like when you fall off of the platform that you're riding down. When you spin... Same text as before. When you spin kill an enemy, it gives you a small period of float in the air. Kaizo often uses this to give you a moment to move left or right as you descend. You gotta head out? Alright, have a good one. You played Duck again yesterday? Okay. I mean, it's just supposed to be like an introductory thing. It's intended to teach the player. When Mario has a power-up, these types of blocks will break under him and give him a small boost into the air. I hate this obstacle, so I made the setup easy, but even easy hacks will expect you to be able to maneuver about more. Like Alec Guinness? Hello there! Little joke there. Falling spike. Mario can spin on top of the falling spike. Get close to it to set it off first. The 1F0 will help you in this room, but in the next room you will need to be much more careful with your timing. So, briefly covering a 1F0, which is the thing that this spike just landed on top of. A 1F0 will treat... It makes any sprite kind of stop in place because it's thinking that it's still falling. It thinks that it's in the air, and it stops things that are in the air from moving down. Basically, it's kind of like slippery floor for sprites that isn't floor for Mario. Thank you for the GGs, Joan. Aiming for the world record? Good luck. I literally have no idea how to make that happen. Yeah, slippery, so it's not going to act like it's on the ground, so it's not going to change its speed as it would on the ground. But something like a disco shell that moves independently of whether it's in the air or on the ground can move on a 1F0. Orb. You hate it too? Oh no! Thwomp jump. This is probably my weakest of the simple tricks. Mulkey Studios, thank you very much for the heart me. To do a thwomp jump, spin next to the thwomp to get it start falling. Excuse me. To do a thwomp jump, spin next to the thwomp to get it to start falling. Quickly fall onto it and then bounce off. The timing for these can be tricky and relies heavily on the individual setup. It does depend on the setup. By the way, I still haven't gotten the true ending on Waterworld. That's something that I do want to sit down and do one of these days. Torpedo Theodore. Torpedo Ted. Hi, Theodore. So you can spin jump off of Torpedo Ted. It's not something that you ever would have noticed in the vanilla game because Torpedo Ted only lives in one level that has water, and the water prevents you from spinning. There's a lot more interesting stuff that happens with Ted too. I don't know that we ever get back into that. Spring jumps! These are hard. Release the spring and land on it in midair to get a big heckin' bounce. Did you know when you pick up a spring, it stops you? It stops your speed. Your best bet is to hold it against the wall, drop it before the highest part of your jump, and release both Y and B, then press both as you land on the spring. being told to release it inside of the wall. That's one way to do it. Springs are garbage? They sure are. I feel like springs are one of those things where you never know what you're gonna get when you pick them up for the first time. Because people use the vanilla ones and people use the disassembly that doesn't slow you down and doesn't let you re-grab them immediately. I'll grab it even with P speed. Frame perfect? What's frame perfect about it? How long have I been playing Kaizo? SMW Kaizo has been my main game since 2021. Hannah, thank you for the heart me and the Go Popular. Star Wars series? What do you mean? Run at it, let go of run, and re-grab a run on the right frame? That... I don't think that's a thing. Because... It's different than a throw block. Yeah, so grabbing it in midair, it depends on, I believe, your movement. I think, no? The thing that you can do is if you're moving up while you're throwing it, it won't slow you down. But if you are moving downwards, if you're in the area where you would normally be interacting with the spring when you throw it, it'll slow you down. They're trouble. Yeah, this is a Kaizo tutorial hack. This is the one that I think is most relevant to what players need to know. Bye, Hannah. Right. They do suck. But, I mean, as they are, it gives you a chance to get an extra trick out of them. Like the mid-air spring jump. Spin test. Well, we can go ahead and read that. Time to put the tricks from the third section together. This test is intended to be beaten at your own pace. Do not feel like you need to master it before moving on. Good luck. What an absolute chungus version of this. Hey. Okay. Drop that. Uh-huh. Chuck Hell. Chuck can do many things. Charging Chuck can run through turn blocks and hop over small barriers. All Chucks take 3 bow hits on the helmet to kill, but they have a small time of invincibility after each hit. So when Chucks go to break turn blocks like this, they check to see if the bottom block is a turn block, and if it is, they break both the bottom block and the one directly above it, no matter what the one directly above it is. With, I guess, potentially some exception. You see there where I kept Chuck alive so I could get the moon? Diggin' Chuck. Diggin' Chuck will dig up small rocks that will hurt Mario to the touch. Spin jump as per usual. Chuck can do many things. Passin' Chuck, as the name implies, kicks footballs at Mario. These footballs are a menace and can be spun to destroy or bounced on with a normal jump. Is it Passin' Chuck? Yeah, I want the moon. I like how they give Chargin' Chuck a football, and the way that he interacts with it is by kicking it with his foot. Because don't you know that's what you do with a football? Give me that dang moon. Chuck can do many things. Here, Football Man throws baseballs. If you are at a certain height, those balls will be thrown higher. You can jump right before a throw to manipulate that and run through safely. He wanted to give me a hug. Fish out of water! This friend swims back and forth a few times, then pauses and leaps in the air. Hit them when they go up. Their name is Cheep Cheep. This very sleepy friend is called Rip Van Fish. Wake them up by getting near, then spin jump on them, pulling them to the right. They chase you, even if they're not in the water. When they're not in the water, they can't move up to try to get you. And, of course, you can't spin jump on them in the water. This Fugu friend is the strangest of the bunch. They will keep falling at a slow pace. They can move back and forth to track you, but they also move from the screen scroll. Your best bet is to get in front and pull them along. And to not go too fast. Hey Shadow Side Bros, it's going pretty good. Very weird hitbox, yes. Also, I should show this as well, since we're dealing with the pufferfish. Thank you very much for the follow. Something that, I guess it doesn't come up too often, but it's handy to know when it does. The pufferfish can't die. Not normally, anyway. And when I say die, I guess I mean despawn by going below the bottom of the screen. Am I wrong? Oh, sorry, it depends on having buoyancy. That's true when there's sprite buoyancy. Thank you, Destin. I really appreciate it. No sprite buoyancy. Sorry, I would have assumed it would have been on for a level that had a pufferfish in it. Vines and beans. It's an easy example, but this type of level is a sky tree. You need to allow the vine to keep moving up. One big tip is that to jump off of a vine, you need to let go of up, press B, and then press up again to grab back onto the vine. Thanks, Oyak. I'm trying. So, if you are holding up while you try to jump off of a vine, Mario will instantly grab back onto it. And nobody wants that to happen. I actually need to take a real quick break. I've been talking a lot, and I need something to drink. Turns out that also lines up perfectly with my Twitch ads. So enjoy some shorts while I'm gone, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes. The goal here is simply to survive until the end of the song. How you holding up there past me? This is amazing. So this arena and the music that play in it are a reference to the Grand Poo World 2 boss fight. Something I've practiced a lot. I can't believe this. Oh my god. Get wrecked, Bowser. Oh my god. This to me was the hard part of the level. There are, again, 10 red berries that I need to eat here. That will make Yoshi lay an egg that contains a mushroom. I need a mushroom to get through some turn blocks that are at the end of the level. Also making sure I get the gamer coin there. This is very unusual to control, but you kind of get the hang of it after a while. Alright, that mushroom's not going anywhere. Break through these turn blocks. There's another set of turn blocks over here. I need to make sure that Yoshi does not get away from me when I spin off of him. And now I get to ditch Yoshi. And if I were to touch that goal, I would actually fall into that lava and die. And I'm going to grab this spring at the end. It's going to let me get some more height and hopefully get some stars off of this goal tape. And I got no stars. A Kaizo block is a hidden block that's intended to keep the player from making progress. This is Classic Trope Castle from Super Dream World 3, and it's structured very differently from most levels in ROM hacks. We're going to talk more about the room that you're seeing right now later, but for the moment, look up in the top right corner, you can see the number 0. That number will go up when I beat a room, and it will go down if I die. Here's our second room, the Mecha Koopas. These Mecha Koopas work kinda similar to how they do in Super Mario Maker 2. You can spin off of them, and that kicks them away from Mario. We're gonna re-grab off of this one twice to let me get to the Mecha Koopa ladder, which is actually way harder than it looks. This next room has the propeller block. In order for me to jump with it in my hands, I need to press the jump and run buttons at the exact same time. That's a frame-perfect trick at a game that runs at 60 frames per second. I should mention that all the yellow nets we see here are sprite killers. They would destroy the block if it came in contact with them. So the entire point of this level is that all of these rooms loop endlessly, and the only way to break out of that loop is to make the number go up to 4. This is probably my ideal room to be at while I'm at 3, since it's my most consistent of the 4. Once you get out of the loop, you get one final room that you haven't practiced. You need to beat it to move on. God! Just one small mistake and you're losing progress. These flames start climbing as soon as you touch the vine that they're on. You can safely spin jump off of the fire, but Mario can't start a spin jump while he's climbing a vine. I also need to switch over to a normal jump to get a high bounce off of the shell. And we have just a small survival section here where I'm dodging bullets while waiting for the Koopa to get down for me to bounce off of it. Here we are again in the green Poke Room. I have control over this Poke's height. I can get rid of a single segment by pressing the L button that makes him shorter, and I can add a segment by pressing the R button that makes him taller. I'm going to need him to stay a pretty specific height so I don't hit my head on the spikes, and the shell is going to be removing segments under me, and I just re-add them. I don't know how many of the final rooms there are. Super Dream World 1 and 2 each had their own 5-room castle, and the 5th room pulls from each of those castles. I know this is a really long video, so I really appreciate you if you've gotten this far. Do me a favor and like the video, comment which room is your favorite. I've actually gotten this room twice in a row now, which is really good. All I have to do is spin off the saw and avoid the Kaizo block. Don't miss! Nobody's missing shell jumps in 2025, but there's a lot riding on this one. If you're reading this message, you dodged a troll. Good job. And we're back. Look how long this level has taken me. Green beans can be pretty tricky. You bounce on them to set a max... you bounce on them in a set max height, which varies the further away from the wall you are. Holding B instead of just pressing it will allow you to reach that base jump height. Green beans have a fun, unintended consequence when they are placed at screen boundaries. Jump into the middle of this pit, it'll be fine, I promise. Green beans, along with a couple other sprites like wigglers, will grab you from the top of the screen if you are on the bottom of the screen. I got the moon. Everybody saw me get the moon. Thebomb.com. Bob-ombs and Goombas can both use these parachutes, which make them fall slow but become harder to jump on due to the timing. Meaning the timing of how they swing back and forth. If you need to carry a bomb for a long distance, you can reset the timer on... you can reset the timer to avoid having it explode on you. To do so, kick the bomb horizontally. Doing so by kicking the bomb up vertically will not work. And it does need to be a kick, you can't just drop it. Everyone hates this trick, but it's not that janky. Spin onto the explosion, but make sure you hit the stars when they are at the furthest out. I find this easiest to do by hanging out mid-air for a bit. This trick is a lot better when it's the fixed version, which I think this might be. Bad cat! Very bad cat. Bad cat. Stop knocking down my controller. Hacker's fave tool. Would this be the 1F0? That little line is called a 1F0. It's a special tile that puts sprites in a falling state. There are many uses for it, some of which we'll see here. Hit Koopa on the left. Ditch and remount Yoshi. Drop key and walk on it. If anybody's curious, there's nothing, you get no reward for key jumping up above the level. Not even a moon. Imagine missing a jump grab in 2026. How do you get these games? Well, don't you know I have a pinned video on my TikTok page showing a tutorial of how to download and play ROM hacks? I wish I could edit that video. I would add in a sound effect. Random test. No, it's T. Time to put the tricks from the fourth section together. This test is intended to be beaten at your own pace. Do not feel like you need to master it before moving on. Good luck. Any beginner Kaizo recommendations to feel good about yourself? One that I like to recommend is love yourself. I also recommend this to Kaizo to learn. This is more of a tutorial though. Yeah, I really like Love Yourself. I think it's like the perfect introduction. It's easy without being boring, and you're doing cool stuff all the time. Super Germdove World? That has some kind of awkward shell stuff in it, which is the reason why I don't recommend it for brand new people. And I think it's correct for people to be patching jumping off explosions. I don't remember if that's the frame roll interaction patch or if that's something else. But I think it's dumb that that isn't just how it worked. Josh, thank you very much for the heart me. Christina for the rose. And Go Popular from Josh, thank you so much. Block grab. And I guess when I say dumb, I mean I think it's dumb that Nintendo made it so you interact with sprites every other frame. Block grab. They're free. This is a frame perfect trick, but you pick the frame. Land on the block and press Y and B at the same time. If you press at the exact same time, you will jump into the air carrying the block. Right. No. You know, you're probably not wrong. Stupid Yoshi. Always ruining things for us. 2 sprites. Hi, Al. Some sprites will interact by destroying each other. To avoid this, you can toss one in the air before you land on the other to not allow them to interact. I think that wasn't what I was trying to do. Oh, maybe it was. How many hacks have I beaten? 0. Because I'm taking the time to give the time to the tutorial that it needs. I actually have my my Kaizo completion extension filled out, and I think it's at least 95% accurate. Perfect, Al. Perfect. To double carry, place the items together on the same tile. Then get a running start and slide into both while holding Y to grab. If successful, you'll be holding both items. Keys don't despawn, so you can also just move the key. How often are we double carrying? I don't feel like that's very common. Keys, keys, keys. This is the same idea as the block grab. Press grab to jump on the same frame to jump into the air while holding the key. Also, you can spin jump while you do it, unlike with a block grab. If you use A instead of B, and grab the key in a spin. Set the key down to enter the door. I think so. Yes, there's some stuff like that, like the double carry, but the amount of old tech that nobody uses that's taught here versus what's taught in Learn to Kaizo is way better. To get through this, kick the key onto the lower level. Get the key up to the next level by doing a key grab, but drop the key quickly beneath you. I press down the whole time to make it work easier, then key grab again to win. It is. And, I mean, it gives you a good baseline for things like, is there something down there? What is that block? It gives you a good baseline for learning things like, or playing things like, Brave New World. Love Brave New World. I always stand on my key to open the front door to my house. Key jump, vine carry. Key jumps are like an infinite key grab. You can start with a key grab on the ground, then throw it at the wall, or hold it into the wall. Fall on the key in midair to do a key grab to pluck it out of the air and gain extra height. To carry an item while on a vine, you need to catch it while holding on to the vine. Throw the key into the air and start climbing the vine, then catch the key by holding X or Y. Block dupes are patched. Kaizo hacks love to put vines in the way, so you have to kick an item into the air as you move from vine to vine. The item will move in whatever direction you have X speed in, so press left to kill your momentum first. Downswim. This is the reason why I make sure to tell anybody who uses SNES 9X to enable diagonal button combinations on their controller. Yeah. That consistency practice hack that Arisen Dead has is for people like Arisen Dead. Hold down while you press B to swim. Congrats! You gain less height in the water while you're holding down. Conversely, if you hold up while you're swimming, you get more height, more faster. I think it's funny though, I sometimes see people that are playing either 2 Kaizo to learn or learn 2 Kaizo, and they struggle on the water sections because they don't have their controller set up right. Up and item swim. Pressing up with B will give you a fast upward swim. You can kill your upward momentum with a down swim. Use both here to get through. Use the boost to get through! Oops. Yeah, that would make it impossible, alright. I should have nitpicked that message box. Because it implies that to kill your upward momentum, you have to down swim. You don't have to down swim, you just have to press down. Swimming while holding an item will cause you to be pulled up at all times. Press down to counteract this, either with a pump or to stay on the ground. You can also press left and right to control your speed. Bye, aquatic ambience. Swim through dolphins. Do a down swim to phase through things moving upwards in water like dolphins and platforms. Also, you've already lost. Orb. I mean, to be fair, I think upswimming and downswimming is pretty counterintuitive. It didn't take the Mario Maker 2 community a while to realize you can fall out of a claw. I was there! It was instant. Key to swim test. I think it's in the manual. I think that upswimming and downswimming is in the manual. Forget your key, use the pipe below, and be more careful next time. Mega Man Battle Network music. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna crumble to dust. Turn blocks and moles. Throw an item sideways or up into a turn block to set it spinning. If you throw a shell at a turn block while standing next to it, the shell will not hurt you until it rebounds. Your best bet is to get P-Speed here. What am I getting P-Speed for? Ah, that's what I'm getting P-Speed for. Bring the mole to the end of the level by clearing the path. Spin jump onto his head at the end and ride to victory. Fun fact, if a level uses ice physics, the mole head will also be icy. Yeah, so ice physics, they make everything that acts as ground icy. So moles, dolphins, other rideable sprites, like platforms. Hey, Mara. Yeah. So that's global ice physics. There's blocks that turn on ice physics while you are touching the block, which still technically make every surface slippery, but they'll also turn ice physics back off after you leave them. P-switches! Yeah. This is just teaching you about how things change with an active P-switch. To get through the one tile gap, do a small spin jump while standing about one tile away, then press right to fall into the gap. This is to Kaizo to learn. I actually spelled the name wrong. It should be one word and it should be lowercase. Mid-air P activation. Throw the switch into the ceiling and hold B as you fall. If you throw at the right time, the switch will fall into your feet and activate. Kick the P-switch into the wall and land on it. The timing is a bit different from a shell jump, but the idea is similar. Or pops. P-switch yumps. To do a P-switch jump, press jump the frame you land on a P-switch. This is frame perfect, so don't get discouraged. Risto suggests pressing both A and B to increase your chances, and I can't find a reason to disagree. There are those who will insist that P-switch jumps are different from a jump, which are done on a switch from a switch palace, but they are functionally identical. It's me. I'm the one who's insisting. Do you know how lucky I was to beat that one level from Sheffy 2 on the first try? It's this ridiculous shell level that's got a mandatory P-switch jump at the end of it. Vanilla P-switch jump. Disco Inferno. Disco shells take a minute to learn, and a lifetime to master. Whichever side you hit, you will be bounced off in that direction with a unique force. Holding B will give you a bigger bounce versus not. Yeah, I think that level took me like a ridiculous 13 hours or something to learn. It was horrible. And you don't even get an exit for beating the level. I mean, that's what West Slasher did. West Slasher, in the write-up that he wrote for Sheffy 2, he said that he was pushing the boundaries between tool-assisted and RTA viable. And that's an example of what he was talking about. Use big jumps to get over these muncher blocks. You can do a number of things to ensure the shell stays where you need it, but I find it easiest to use left-right presses on the D-pad to dial in the right location. This room is designed to teach you how to surf on a disco shell. Find a spot near the top, but still on the right of the shell, let go of B and hold Y and right, and you can cruise with the shell holding steady beneath you. RTA real time. Done by a human with a controller, a non-modified controller, without slowdown. Or save states. You can use a spin jump to kill a disco shell. Don't do that here. You can get the same bounce off the disco shell mid-air. Discos will move mid-air, so be careful. Don't do that here, indeed. No, but Tass is my favorite speedrunner. Grinder spinning. The secret of grinder spin is to match your speed to the grinder. Doing this before you land is best, but if you are holding X, you can tap left and right on the D-pad to adjust your speed. Orb! Hey there, welcome in, folks. Oops. Oh, I almost messed something up. We're fine, nothing is broken. Surfin' P test. That's how you stay warm in the water. Time to put the tricks from the 6th section together. This test is intended blah 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 blah. I need that disco. Oh, this is intending me to do that. Good thing this isn't my first time playing it or anything. Or it's a good thing this is my first time playing it. You don't need to jump. If you hold B through the crush and press Y again after you hit the switch, you'll get enough horizontal distance to avoid the muncher and get out in front of the disco. But I mean, you might as well. Yeet the Yoshi. Baby Yoshi needs to eat 5 things to grow into a big Yoshi. Oops. I need to wait longer. Eat canceled. And that is how you save that Yoshi. Yoshi learns colors. Green shell, spit out. Blue shell, fly. Red shell, spit fire. Yellow shell, stomp power. Disco shell, all effects. Yoshi color will also have the effect on all shells. Get out of here, Yoshi. Same text as before. Same text as before. That is actually kind of a tight gap. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. I don't think there's anything over here. There is a secret in one of these rooms, and I don't remember which. There's something. There's a death block up there? Come on. Yo, thank you very much for that 2026 Grouchy Smurf. I really appreciate it. Double eat. If Yoshi eats 2 things in quick succession, it will sometimes count as 3. Do a quick left-right here and then run through them, and it should work. It can be tricky to time correctly. Listen to the audio cue or watch the scores to verify. I use a Super NT. Yoshi Spring Shell. These are easier with a Yoshi versus not, but still tricky. Spit the spring in mid-jump and land back on it to get a spring jump high into the air. And don't do that. I think I need this Yoshi. Timing for a Yoshi shell jump is different than for a normal shell jump. Eat the shell and spit as you reach the peak of your jump. A quick left-right might help with timing. So, let me explain something here real quick. It should work this way in this hack. Maybe not. It might be patched. There are some cases where you will get the shell jump and have Yoshi get hit like that. One reason why that happens is that Yoshi has a wider hitbox than Mario. Yoshi's head actually is going to be interacting with the shell. So this is a case where I always will try to turn around with Yoshi after I release the shell, so that he's not sticking out in front of Mario trying to body block the shell. I learned that from Sheffy too. Because there's a very, very shell-heavy Yoshi level. Yoshi test. It's the same text that we've seen before. 1, 2. I don't think I ever learned the way that you're supposed to make this, this plant eat work. There's a few ways to make it work, though. There's supposed to be a spring there. What? Where's my spring? Did he eat the spring? I think he ate the spring. Hang on, I gotta review my footage. I ate the spring, yep. So, that was a consequence of the double eat. He ate the sprite that just spawned, which was the spring. That's very funny to me. Oh, that's what you're supposed to do, I think. Nope. Yeah, I don't understand it. I always end up having to cheese this. Hi there. Thank you very much for the follow, I appreciate that. The name is on screen and it's To Kaizo to Learn. Okay, we didn't eat the spring this time. Go ahead and eat him. We're gonna do a trick here. One that this hack will not teach you. I sorta did it. The trick is to get on the spring at the same time that Yoshi's eating it, and it launches you up in the air. And lets you keep the spring in your mouth. Very temperamental. Alright, we're done with it. I'm over it. I mean, technically I did do the trick. Basic cape tech. With a cape, holding jump causes you to float slowly towards the ground. Let go to resume falling fast. Ducking will help you get through a small opening. Theron, thank you very much for almost a wah of being subscribed. A small note about these turn blocks, only 4 of them can be turning at any one time. Jump up under them to see for yourself. That's important. As Mario is flying, push forward to enter a dive state. Diving allows you to pull up in a bigger swoop than normal. Crashing into the ground in this state will stun or defeat certain enemies. Thanks, Ryan. Thank you very much. Orb! Right tight flight. When you have a cape and get P speed, you can jump into the air to fly. You need to hold Y to keep in flight state. You can keep flying by rhythmically pressing the D-pad in the direction opposite the way you're moving. To fly through tight areas, try doing smaller pumps. Slowing down by tapping B as you press back on the D-pad helps. You can regain speed by tapping forward again. Now, smaller pumps, I wonder if that's a misnomer? Because pressing left will make you swoop up the same amount no matter what. I think this is actually kind of a tricky little bit of flight here. So I'm gonna do the more advanced trick. If it'll let me. It'll let me! To fly through tight areas, try... Yeah, same text as before. Cross-platform viewership? Let's go. Yeah, I did sticky fly. I flew under it. Which is not how you're supposed to do that. I think we get taught sticky fly here in just a little bit. Learn to spin fly. Use A to take off instead of B. You don't get to fly for long with spin fly, but it is useful for tight vertical spaces. You can regain your flight by tapping the A button again or by a short run. While spin flying, Mario sticks a bit to the ceiling. While there, you can move left or right to get enemies out of your way. Cape cancel. When Mario begins flight, his takeoff timer begins. You can gain flight anytime during this timer, even if hitting an enemy causes you to lose the flight. If you lose Cape, you are not in flight. Let me, again, do something a little bit more advanced here. Oh, I can't. Alright. We'll do it at once. If you get hit while in normal flight, Mario will enter spin state and gain a short moment of invincibility. It's gonna explain turning around very shortly. What is that song? Pokemon? Probably Pokemon, right? Stuck on Kaizo. Go into a dive by pressing forward, then right when you get under the Kaizo blocks. Pull up into them by pressing back. Hold back and love the stick. You can get sticky without Kaizo blocks, but you need more precise timing. Not all of them. I'm still working on E. coli. Caped shell jump. They're free. Shell jumps are way easier with a cape. You want to be the standard 2.5 tiles away, but you can throw at any time from the peak of your jump as you fall. It's best to wait until you hit the shell to re-grab Y, but not necessary. Orb! Patched turnaround, also known as a good cape hack. While in normal flight, tap X without letting go of Y at the top of your pump. You will turn around and be facing the other direction and can continue flight. Without a patch, this move works half the time. Be careful of speed. The entire point to doing this is getting enough height to climb around that corner. Okie dokie. Cape test. Time to put the tricks from the cape section together. Here you will use spin fly, sticky fly, slow fly, and turnaround. If you like this section, check out Learning to Fly for tutorial levels on many more cape mechanics. Oops. That was the wrong kind of flight. That was no flight at all. I'm already dead. Do 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 do. Frame rules. I got frame rule. That wasn't supposed to happen. Why is that happening? I think I know why, and it's because I'm turning around too fast. Or too slow, perhaps? So I think what's happening is I'm not giving the thwomp enough time to return to its original spot. No, that's not what's happening. I see. What's happening is I need to slow down. Like that. I have no idea. I don't keep up with that kind of news. Alright, I'm gonna sticky fly. What's intended here? Orb. Cool. Alright, I think this is, yeah, shell stuff. Shell buckets! Shell buckets are a good intro to all shell tricks. Kick the shell into the muncher bucket and bounce off it while holding B. I like that the introduction is a 5 bucket. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna take my break real quick here. My old man bones are acting up and hurting from sitting for too long, I said. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Enjoy the shorts while I'm gone. This is the second special world level from Super Mario Bros. Wonder. These blocks that we see here are going to be turning themselves on and off automatically in time with the beat of the music. That means I need to keep a pretty specific pace as I come through this level. If I go too fast or too slow, there's not going to be any blocks in place for me to jump off of. I'm also going to be grabbing all of the 10 coins in one run here, and that's going to make it much more challenging to finish this level, since I need to go out of my way in order to grab them. And the timer can be kind of tight. Alright, amazing. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, feel free to give me a follow. I make a lot of Mario content. This is Storm Booster. This level's really, really fast. When I'm moving at full speed after being launched forward by one of those booster blocks, I'm able to just throw a shell, and it gives me a free mid-air shell jump. There's almost no margin for error when balancing and keeping up with this throw block, and these last moves with the jump grab, up throw, mid-air are some of the fastest in the game. Let's fucking go. GG. Yeah, YouTube apparently rolled out that change today. And we also have just enough time to stick the next level in this video as well. 2 levels in one day! What incredible gameplay! That's really funny. That's the end of the section? Am I nuts, or does that feel like a quick section? This is Kaizo City, a level from Super Dram World 3. This level is going to be all about the P-switch. The bar that shows up just to the right of Mario shows me how much time is left remaining on the P-switch timer. We also have 5 different colors of P-switches here. The blue switch lasts for 12 seconds, the green for 6, yellow for 4, and red is 2. We're dodging the thwomp there while we're waiting for the timer to run out and drop the Poké down. We have no extra time with this disco shell. We need to take it straight over to the red switch. Once we hit the on-off switch 3 times, Yoshi will drop down, and I need to time it so the Lakitu will throw a switch for me to use. Upside down blocks. That was a good touch. In this section, there's only the one